Hi everyone. My name is Vyacheslav. I'm CEO of GD Labs, and this is our Ask Me Anything session number 6. Okay, so theoretical question to the CEO. What would you do if an employee said they were sick, but later you saw vacation photos on Instagram? Well, I would ask questions like what kind of sickness it is, and if it's not related to the location on the Instagram, I would ask questions like, it would raise questions for sure. Okay, question number 2. What would you do if an employee missed a critical part of a task, the project failed, and the client canceled the cooperation because of it? Well, that's a big one. First, of course, it's not only about the employee who is to blame. It's actually failure of the system, because there is always guards. Like, you have to have a team who is responsible for the project. It's not just one person. Then the question will be to project manager, to the QA if it's done, to the design team, to the team in general, and then the employee. And then we have to understand like what was the cause of it. But I think it's really bad, and it means that a lot of steps were missed or ignored completely, because this should never happen like that. Like there are always problems. Every project has its own specific problems, and actually the biggest secret of service business is not avoiding any mistakes, but fixing them quickly and responding as good as possible. And this makes clients stay. Not that you don't make mistakes. Everybody does mistakes, and it's human to make mistakes. But it's the resolution speed and the quality of the outcomes that actually plays in a long-term game. So you have to fix things as fast as possible and as good as possible, and make sure that you never do the same mistake again, right? Yeah, that's what's important. So what would I do? Like, I would see where's the, like, I would try to understand how we failed as a system, like why the whole system allowed it to happen, because it should not be like that. Okay, question number 3. What would you do if an employee came to you and said, if you don't increase my salary by 20%, I'm leaving? Well, I love this kind of questions. Well, it's very theoretical, but first it depends a lot on what employee, how crucial this person is to the company and to the project. Usually payment and the salary is not the only factor that steps in. So if a person is willing to change that rapidly and that in ultimative, it means that there's something else as well that pisses him off or her. And that, yeah, first you need to talk, understand if it's just money, all right, good, then it's one. And if it's something else, then what can be done, right? But I cannot say, okay, this is my reaction now. You have to talk and you have to understand the person and why it's like this. Okay, number 4. What would you do if the whole team disagreed with your decision? Well, then I would say, okay, I disagree with you, but all right, fine, you won. Let's try and see if you actually do and it works out. Amazing. Now you have ownership of this thing, or you actually can do much more decisions on your own. If you fail, all right, then we're back to square one, then you listen to me, okay? So yeah, I would say, sure, let's go. If you think you're right, let's check. Number 5. What would you do if the company had almost no new projects for 3 months? I would ask myself a question: what was I doing all these 3 months? But yeah, usually it should not happen like this, because yeah, sales have to sell, developers have to develop, QAs have to quality assurance, designs, everybody should do their job. If for 3 months there is no new leads or no new projects, then it means that something is wrong in the sales process, or the market is turning, or something is changing and we don't actually see it. So yeah, I would raise a lot of questions, but yeah, it is a big question, like what we're doing wrong. What would you do if a junior employee publicly criticized your management style? I would do nothing. I mean, I don't care what you think about me. You cannot think bad of a company, but you can think whatever you want about me. I'm not, yeah, it's fine. Like, if you publicly criticize in front of clients, then yeah, it's bad. You cannot do that. But within the closed doors, within the company, I would actually be impressed. I like people who can say things that they have in mind. It's much better than just to keep silent and be frustrated, because if junior says something, it means that everybody has the same, like, yeah, most probably that this problem is for everyone, not just for him, but he is, this person is more open-minded and not as limited by the, I don't know, respect or by the authority of a manager. So yeah, I would love that when people criticize you and say, hey, you are doing this wrong, you have to do this, 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 then we discuss it. If it makes sense, all right, we do it, or we try it, or at least we will listen, and then we have a framework to ask everyone, do you have this issue? If you keep silent, it's just your problem, right? And nobody will solve it. But if you are vocal about it, great. So I would love that. Okay, something new. Uncomfortable questions to the CEO. Have you ever raised your voice or gotten angry at your employees? Yes, unfortunately, yes. It happened more than I would like to think of myself, but yeah, sometimes it is. Emotions are part of the job. Sometimes you cannot distinguish yourself from the project or from the responsibilities about the clients, because it's about the trust and it's about the frustration that basically if somebody failed you in terms of how you expected them to do stuff and to behave, and they failed, of course it makes me sad and feel bad. But yeah, usually I try to not do that. Of course, we are all humans and we don't do that, but if I was wrong, I always try to come and to apologize if I was wrong. If I think I'm wrong. If I don't think that I'm wrong, yeah, well, then the person can say, hey, I didn't feel bad, I didn't feel good about it, and I understand that. We speak it out and we try to communicate calmly. So it's not like I constantly yell to people. I don't know, maybe maybe write in the comments, but yeah, It's very rare, but it happens. Unfortunately, it happens. What was the last failure at Chili Labs? I cannot recall the last failure of Chili Labs. We fail all the time as individuals or organizations. It's fine. It's process of learning. I cannot recall one situation. There were many where we failed to deliver something that the client wants, or we failed some people, or some projects got away from us and we had to lay someone off, or a lot of situations. I cannot recall the last one. What was the most expensive lesson for Chili Labs, and how much did it cost you? Oof. Well, there were a lot of expensive lessons. One of the most expensive ones, I would say, is committing to one client and relying only on one client for a long time, that they will keep ordering. And it was very expensive in terms of the people, and expensive in terms of the depth. Basically, if you are reliant on one big client for your business, especially in service, then eventually you will come out a situation where everything is depending on, are they paying the bills or are they not? And if it's your only lifeline, then unfortunately there is not much leverage that you can do. So they can squeeze you out as much as possible, and they are dictating the terms. So it should never happen in a good business, but this is a hard lesson that we learned, that if you are very reliant on one or two big clients, eventually when there is a situation that they don't need you anymore, or they owe you a lot of money, you are very, very dependent on it. And yeah, this was quite costly lesson. I will not tell exact money, but it was also on money, people, relationships. So yeah, it's very, very crucial for the business to have diversification. Do not put everything in one basket, otherwise it's a system that will fail one day. Do you have a favorite person on the team, and who is it? Well, I don't know how to answer to this question. Of course, we all have favorites in terms of, but it's not just one person. It's many people who I can actually trust to do stuff, and they are in multiple teams, and I like a lot of people who I can trust, but I don't have like single person who I would, who is my favorite. And yeah, I cannot name people. Was there ever a moment when you wanted to quit everything? Yes, a lot, a lot of moments like this. Yeah, in entrepreneurship you deal a lot with stress, and you deal a lot with uncertainty, and usually it happens like something happens, like a black swan, and something unexpected, and you say, okay, I'm done. I go find a stable job somewhere, and I don't want this responsibility. But then you grow up, put your big boy pants on, and start solving the problems, because if you don't do it, then nobody else will do it, and you have to solve it, or at least keep trying to solve it. But yeah, I think every founder or every top-level management has this. I think every professional has this. Okay, fuck this. I'm out. It's very simple way to do, but it's harder to actually not give up and to continue the journey. Who on the team is usually late, writes the longest messages, or sometimes slightly annoys you? Who on the team is usually late? It's usually me. Writes the longest messages. I don't know. Slightly annoys me. Well, sometimes even I annoy myself. So I don't know how to answer this. I would rather not go into personal stuff. It's not really professional. Is there a leadership trait you feel you still need to improve or grow in? Yes, of course. First, as we mentioned before, I need to stay more calm, to not react. As I react, that's for sure. Second, what I really need to learn is delegation and trusting people more and giving them more freedom to do stuff. I think my team will agree that, yeah, it is an issue. And sometimes I micromanage and sometimes I put pressure on people. Yeah, so there is a lot. Every leader has to grow. Yeah, all right. So we are done with uncomfortable questions. Thanks everyone for attention. I don't know, it turned out to be like a psychotherapy session, but it is what it is. If you like the content, let me know. Thanks. See you next time.